Our next guest is an Emmy-nominated writer and actor. You know best from her work on the critically acclaimed show Catastrophe. You can see her next in Together, which is in theaters this Friday. Let's take a look.
I vividly remember being at dinner with him and watching him eat and just thinking, it's the worst thing I've ever experienced.
What? I'm not a bad eater.
No, it's not that you're a bad eater. It's just the fact of you eating. Like, watching you eat makes all the various different processes involved more apparent. You know, like mastication and rending of flesh, grinding of matter, just mixing with saliva and sucking it down into your big old meat bowl of acid to break it down until it's no more than a brown sausage of turd to be squeezed out by Uranus.
Please welcome back to the show, Sharon Horgan. How are you, Sharon?
I'm okay. What a funny clip.
It's the best. I watched that clip today and was filled with dread, knowing that when my wife watches it, that will be when she most thinks of me.
That's exactly what she's thinking as she watches you eat.
Word for word, with less style, but word for word. I feel like you continue to be our greatest creator of content about marriage that makes us both think it's awful and worth it.
Oh, well, thank you very much. But I mean, I can't take credit for this because this is Dennis Kelly who wrote this, who I wrote a sitcom called Pulling with years ago. So this is his sort of, take on the romantic comedy. It's set in the lockdown.
It's a beautiful script, and he's a playwright as well. Is that correct?
He is, yeah. I mean, it was supposed to be a play originally, but obviously all the theaters shut down during lockdown, and then they thought, well, we won't put it on, but then the whole reason why he wrote the play is he was so angry about the mishandling of the pandemic, and he felt it was really important that we sort of say it now because, well, everyone seemed to sort of slightly forget about how badly handled it was when the vaccination came along, because everyone was like, yay, vaccinations. And so we decided to film it, and we filmed it in 10 days. Stephen Daldry directed it, and we went and filmed it in one house, one location, and we filmed it during lockdown, so there was all of that to contend with, but he was just so angry. He had a lot of anger, but at the same time, it is a romantic story.
It really is. It's wickedly funny. It is deeply sad at times, and it's tremendously romantic. And when I heard it was 10 days, I thought that's incredible that they turned it around in 10 days. But then when I thought about it, I think like the first 10 minutes might be a single take. I mean, it's amazing. Like, that's where it really feels like, I mean, it is definitely a piece of cinema, but it really is wonderful watching the two of you act in a small space like that.
I know. We must have done that about I think it was a 20-minute take, and we had to do it so many times because we'd get to the end and then we'd mess up just before the final hurdle, and then we'd have to go back to the start and do it all again. But we couldn't film it like regular TV, so you couldn't do your sort of your close-ups and your mids and your wides and all that kind of thing. You just had to sort of film it on the move.
Was it at least equitable who would screw up a long 20-minute take between you and James?
Yeah, it was actually, and
good.
Thank God, because it made you feel so awful when you do a good one, and you could really feel it. No, I think we both screwed up as often as the other. Thank God.
Last we talked, it was during lockdown. You have your two daughters, and they were maybe giving you a bit of a hard time. I think one of your daughters maybe was complaining that your eyes were too close together. We went back and watched. We don't think that's true.
Well, I had a little operation.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see. Tiny scar.
You just took a little bit in?
I mean, we got through it, I mean, unlike Together, I wasn't in a relationship. So it was just my two daughters that I had to contend with. But I mean, we're sort of out the other side. They kind of, I don't know, did your kids go back to school? They did?
They're in the next couple weeks, yeah.
Yeah. So it's all sort of all normal again. I missed out on the last term of my, the last 2 terms of my youngest daughter. And then just as soon as she goes back to school, she told me I can't walk her to the bus stop anymore. So And I've already missed like her whole, like, you know, last year. And now it's just that special time that we had together, that sort of you and me special time where I'd put my arm around her and we'd tell each other secrets. That's just gone. That's over.
I'm very sorry to hear that. That's deeply unfair.
Thank you. It is.
When you mentioned you knew Dennis as a writer, but I also heard you had some hesitation of maybe doing a lockdown film. How long did that hesitation last?
Well, I mean, I don't think anyone who was involved in the film wanted to do a lockdown film. Like Stephen Daldry didn't want to direct it, and Dennis didn't want to write it, and James and I didn't want to. My light just fell off.
Did it? We didn't notice or hear it.
Really? Really? There you go. Actually, I made some toast just before we started, and I burnt it, and I was like, the bloody fire curtain's going to come down, and the alarm's going to go off. But no, it's just the light. But yeah, no, none of us wanted to do it. And then I read the script, and I had this mad reaction to it because, I mean, you know, obviously it's set in the lockdown, and you know, it's about all the terrible, tragic things that happen. But I just found it like really, really romantic. And I remember calling Dennis and going, "This is so beautiful." I mean, this actually made me cry because, you know, you clearly love your girlfriend very, very much, and I'm jealous. I would love to have a love like that. But anyone else who read it was like, "What are you talking about? I mean, it's great, but it's not romantic." You know, he tells her that he hates her face, and she says, you know, when she thinks about him, she gets the same feelings when she thinks about her dead dad's cancer. I'm like, yeah, but when he says, "I probably love you," and you know, when he says that their love exists in the place beyond hate, and they're like, but you know, he tries to kill her. She wishes explosive diarrhea on him. But and there's this in the film, like, not that it's a big spoiler or anything, but well, it is a bit. But he proposes to her, and I found out just today that it was a hidden proposal from Dennis to his girlfriend, because he rang me today and asked me to be his best person at his wedding. And I was like, yes, I called it, you know, I knew it was romantic.
Well done. I did not. Yeah, I was very surprised to hear that this work was also a secret proposal. That would not have been my takeaway.
I know, it's like the world's most private sort of Easter egg, I suppose.
I was also watching, and I was commenting to someone here. I was very happy that James McAvoy was wonderful in it as well. He got to be Scottish.
Yes.
Got to use his natural accent.
He should always be. Yeah.
He should always be Scottish. I agree.
Yeah.
Is it true that your kids give you a hard time about your lack of an Irish accent?
Oh yeah, I mean, everyone loves an Irish accent, right? And when I take my kids to Ireland, they're, you know, charmed by it. Everyone except me, except my voice, because they just don't understand my voice, because, you know, I've lived in London for 30 years and it's all, you know, it's a bit of a mishmash. But I was filming there in the summer, and whenever I'm there for any length of time, it comes back like, I think I sound pretty goddamn Irish at the moment. But then they're just like, why are you putting on that stupid accent? You know, anything I do.
It does seem like maybe you're in an impossible situation with your daughter.
I think you're probably right.
Although you probably have to bear some responsibility. I mean, you did raise them.
I did. I made them.
You got to. There's got to be some very subtle wig work in this film to show the passage of time. Did you enjoy that?
Well, I enjoyed James's wig work. James got to have a man bun, which is, I mean, if anyone can pull off a man bun, it's James McAvoy. I just got to have because they wanted to show, obviously, the passage of time, because it's over the year of the lockdown, and everyone's hair went nuts, didn't it? And you know, so they gave me extensions, but obviously to put extensions in, it sort of just makes your hair bigger and bigger. So I look like a kind of like 80s slut, and then, you know, and it feels like not right, but then you take it out and you really miss it. It's just gorgeous.
Well, if we're talking about 80s sluts, I would love to show a picture of my work over the pandemic. This is not a wig. This is real hair. Be honest. What do you think?
That's you. Yeah, I mean, it's a little. You look pervy. You look.
Great.
Yeah, it's very 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. What is that look that you're working?
It's Steph. It's James Spader's character Steph from Pretty in Pink. I don't know if that made it across the pond.
Of course it is. I mean, I genuinely, I like that. I mean, not that particular look, but I like a sort of longer haired look on men. So I just spent most
Don't know if we needed that qualifier there. I feel like. Hey, the movie is really fantastic. It is always so good to see you. Please promise to come in person next time.
I will. I'm sorry. Thanks for, because I know this is a bit ropey, isn't it, with the old light falling off and that whole.
No, it's just, you know, and you know the fact that Sean Penn made the effort and everything. It's just.
I know. I am aware of that. I deeply apologize, but I appreciate it. I am filming in the morning at 5 a.m. So that's.
Oh my God, your life is so hard. Thanks for being here. It's always so great to see you.
Thank you, and I see you too.
Together is in theaters this Friday, and everybody's talking about Jamie premieres on Amazon Prime Video on September 17th.